Hello, my name is Mike Lindsay. I am a Cherokee storyteller. My ceremonial name is Writing Bear, and I'm happy to talk with you.
Okay, what I want to talk about is colonialism, and let's start by saying the general definition of colonialism would be a period of time after the age of exploration up to the 20th century. So it's several hundred years in which European cultures kind of technologically and physically dominated the world, and I would say exploited labor and resources at the expense of indigenous people. That's maybe one definition of a colonialism.
Okay.
So
We're familiar with it.
well, extending it to Native Americans, I remember one time when I was studying colonialism, I was unclear about it, and I asked one of my professors, are Native Americans part of colonialism? And she said that's called internal colonialism, as opposed to external, Europeans going out and finding, because of what we have today with reservations and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. So anyway, let me get your perspective on what is colonialism.
Well, boy, that's a big topic, but I think for us, the way it manifested maybe most dramatically was the temporariness of it, the lack of commitment to a particular place.
Okay.
In our way of understanding, everybody, human beings, should understand they're connected to a place. And that connection means that you have a responsibility. You get to know about that place, what grows there, what flourishes there, how to take care of that place. We always consider that our responsibility, to take care of the land.
Okay, so does that mean that a colonizer, like a European, would temporarily use a place or something? Or?
Well, that seems to be what happened. I mean, we were here, by different accounts, at least 30,000 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter a little bit, but definitely more than 10,000 years. When the Europeans came here to North America, they noted that the setting was park-like, the rivers were pristine,
right.
There were orchards.
Right.
The game had been managed very well to be allowed to replenish itself. It was a veritable paradise, and so much so that some of them thought that no one lived here. They thought it was uninhabited, and yet we had millions of people living in what we call Turtle Island, current area of North America. And so you can see how that plays out, and you can see all the environmental degradation that we see just, relatively short, few hundred years later. There's hardly a body of water that you can go and actually safely take a drink from.
Okay.
There's, so many kinds of toxicity and pollution, and to us that is the definition of insanity. To foul your own nest.
Right.
To
colonize something in that way. Huh?
Yeah. So I think that's one thing. The other way we see it, this is our perspective, looking at the colonizers or the colonialists. There's this restlessness, this lack of contentment or of peace, and we associate that again with this, temporariness of everything. Get tired of one thing, move on. Get tired of one place, use it up and move on.
Right.
And even to us, the ultimate expression of that was, okay, now we've used up this planet, let's go to the moon,
Right. Well, I guess it comes from seeing the land as a resource,
right,
or seeing the land as a commodity.
Yes.
Something to use rather than being part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's so interesting to me because I talk sometimes to dominant people culture, and we of course we speak about Mother Earth, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's like Mother Nature," and I'm like, "No, I don't think so," because they see it as a metaphor that, and we see the Earth is our mother. I mean, and
Literally.
literally.
Yeah.
Well, the calcium in my bones that keeps me upright
Right.
on this Earth is from that Earth. The food that I eat that keeps me alive is from that Earth.
Right.
The oxygen that I breathe comes from trees growing out of that Earth.
Right. The real connection.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can break it down scientifically, but ultimately, it is the source of my being, my physical being on this planet, is our Mother Earth. So we do, in a very real sense, emerge from that reality. So again, if you really understand that, the idea of poisoning that source of your life,
You're poisoning yourself.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's patently insane. But the different kinds of social anxieties and unrest and so forth that we see, the never-ending striving, the fact of there never being enough.
Right.
Right. Just there's never enough of anything, no matter how much you have. You always want more. We see that as part and parcel of looking at the world that way.
Right.
And
right.
it to us, it's a natural outcome of that kind of.
Well, it's almost like a sickness.
A sickness.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're not the only indigenous people that see and describe dominant technological culture that way.
Right.
In other parts of the world, and other indigenous people have similar ways of looking and describing, people in the Amazon or people in Australian Aboriginal people. It's really shocking from a traditional perspective to see that kind of behavior, to see that kind of disconnection from the source of your life. It's mind-boggling, really.
Okay, thank you.